Yes, we do.
All right. So,
Look at you throwing the recording on. Bam.
bam. Because I mean, you never know when we're going to say something fun. um, so we're getting ready to launch this course. It's going to be a lot. We're going to go over a lot of things. Which which unit are you most excited about?
Oh, well, I mean, we designed it so that it kind of goes through the whole process of establishing your plans and your goals and then acting on them. And then, we wrap it up at the end of our 6 weeks with the group on okay, now what? And so
Hmm,
future planning. And so I'm excited about the whole thing because it's going to be such a great opportunity for people that haven't taken action to really feel like, okay, I now have the tools that I'm more confident about. This is what I need to do, and this is how I can start to take forward momentum and forward steps. So it's just going to be so empowering and motivating for people to feel like they have that control finally.
I
So,
agree. I think it's going to be really, really cool to see who comes to this cohort. I'm very excited to meet our potentially 12 new coaching clients that we get to actually go through this whole process with. And I'm excited to see how the support network with the Facebook group and the weekly presentations and solo one-on-one calls are going to really work together for that accountability and that support because we're talking about scary things. We're talking about massive choices. We're talking about changing your life by, and we're using tiny habits and we're taking baby steps, but it's still really taking stock of where you currently are and how you can optimize not just your mindset, not just your wallet and your budget, but really your everyday routine.
yeah, and the great thing is we're talking about with looking at health and finances side by side. It's do the things that are going to help you live longer, and then do the things that's going to help you financially be comfortable as you live longer. And so that's the exciting thing is it's like planning for the future and making arrangements so that you don't have that fear of what if I live longer and then what if I run out of money? No, we're
Yeah,
gonna, work together to help you live longer and be able to afford it and live your best life.
yeah. And ideally, create the legacy you want to leave behind. And I mean, there's nothing like getting excited about something and really having that vision, that clear vision of what you want your life to look like, and knowing that you are on the path to get to that goal.
Yes. And
Like say, go
go ahead.
ahead.
One of the big motivators for me is breaking the generational patterns.
Hmm.
And, this is the inability for a woman to say, okay, maybe I came from a past of not the best health. Maybe I came from a past of not the best financial example, but here I am being that change maker. I'm making the difference. And again, it's kind of like you said with the legacy. It's that cool piece of I get to make the change and I get to change it for future generations. And it's that domino effect and that ongoing ripple that she could create from 6 weeks with us. Like how cool is that? So it's exciting to be for us to be able to help others and then others be able to help that family lineage and be that difference change maker.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important at this age range, right? Like we are specifically looking for women in the over 35. If you're going through perimenopause, if your kids are about to leave for college, if you have spent all of your time climbing that corporate ladder, if it is finally time for you to take care of you and you finally have the capacity to do that, this is exactly the moment that I think that both of us have recently come into, right? Is that we have this freedom and time and are able to make these choices for ourselves. And we're very excited to share that with you guys. And I'm very excited to learn from Mary Louise and
Yeah,
also
it's
for
going to
the
be
accountability.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Accountability is so key. And that's I work with a lot of people because of the accountability piece. There's so much information. Same thing with the financial world. There's so
Hmm.
much information out there, and do this and do that, and some of it contradicts itself. That the beauty of the 6 weeks is they get that mentor and that guide of, okay, here's what you can actually and should actually do this week to get that needle moving and to shift things for yourself, and taking it from being something that's like a really big, oh my gosh, how do I even start to tackle that? Or like, the saying about eat an elephant one bite at a time. It's we're
Hmm.
taking it from something that's that big and bringing it down to, okay, one step, one thing, do this. Okay, now do this.
Hmm.
And so it's being able to take smaller things and implementing them and seeing how it grows, and that snowball effect again of
Hmm.
those changes and those shifts. Yeah, it's going to be
Absolutely.
great.
I think it's one of the things I'm most excited about is creating those individualized solutions, right? Because no one's going to come in at the same place. No one's going to come in with the same amount of income, cash flow, mindset problems, mindset solutions, right? We're all going to have our different fitness levels to start out with. So I'm really excited to share some basic tools that everyone can use, but really, and this is where I struggle. We all teach what we struggle with in our own lives, right? Each one teach one, and it's that order of operations, right? How do I prioritize what comes first, and how do I make that into a consistent habit?
Right. Yeah, definitely. And being able to 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 take it and to implement it, and like you said, yeah, just breaking it down so it's not as overwhelming, and it can be personalized. And like you were saying, everybody's at different places, the story is different, the reality is different, and it gets to be individualized and personalized.
Hmm.
And that's beautiful in and of itself. And so many within the financial world and within the fitness world, it's like, oh well, everybody go do this. No, it doesn't
No,
work that way. Yeah.
it does not work that way at all.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that we are both empaths, right? We both really do value people's stories and what they are bringing to the table. We can't talk about money without talking about how you feel about money and why you feel that way. Um, we can't talk about fitness without understanding your experience of your own body and how you view yourself and what experiences you've had in the past, right? We've all got a little bit of body dysmorphia. We've all got a little bit of rejection dysmorphia. We've all got a little bit of these things, right? So I think I'm one of the other things I'm most excited about is getting to hear these women's stories.
Hmm. Both at the beginning and where they are, and then at the end and where they get to transform to.
Yeah. The
That's
writing the
and
next chapter, right? That
yeah,
I always
yeah,
talk about, we are all the protagonists of our own story, but you're also the writer, right? You're also writing the script. So figuring out what that future looks like, what that happy ending or the rest of the journey is going to be.
yeah, yeah. I agree. And just because you came from XYZ doesn't mean that that's where you're stuck. You get to change and to choose different. Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest motivator in my fitness journey and why I do what I do now is because of the example that my mother was, and then being a mother to a daughter and having that next generation and wanting to do different and be different. And finances are the same, and it's like, okay, how can I take what I knew and up level that to again, legacy, impact the
Yeah.
future generations and things like that. And yeah, it's amazing what can be transformed in just 6 weeks.
Yeah. I
And it's
agree.
going to be, yeah. And the initial class of giving information of what can be accomplished, that's going to be amazing too. And so yeah, it's exciting to think about what's going to be coming from 6 weeks of focus on both areas and the transformations.
Yeah. I know my whole team is very excited. Um, we love obviously meeting new people is part of what this job is my favorite thing ever is because I meet new people every single day, and hearing their stories. And my team really, they all come from corporate backgrounds and they're all kind of at this same, like, they went through this transformation. They're empty nesters. They have kind of retired from corporate jobs and become their own business owners. So they are really fantastic experts when it comes to navigating what comes next or transitioning. Also, looking at those complicated corporate benefits and figuring out how to optimize all of those things for you so that you can accomplish. I mean, our mission really, when it comes down to the end of the day, is to help you accomplish what you were put on this earth to do. And that is my boss's motto. That's Jeff Hammer's motto. And we don't have a minimum, we don't set barriers to get this kind of education.
Mm.
Um, but because we believe that everyone deserves to understand their money and how it works. And everyone deserves to invest in themselves and to really understand what they're working for and to do it smarter, not harder.
Yeah, and along that lines, it's like it's never too late. Starting today is as good as, is better than going, oh, it's too late for me. Both financial and fitness. It's always better to go, okay, well, what can I do at this point going forward? And doing something is better than doing nothing and staying in that spot of defeated and, well, I should have done it 10 years ago. Now, what good is it going to do? It's going to do good.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's one of the great things too, is it's never too late to get started.
Yeah.
And
It's one of
now
my
with this course is as good a time as any, to jump in and make that investment and to be able to get that momentum going.
Yeah, one of my old professors always used to say, "Don't should on yourself or anyone else." And it just takes so much energy. But what we can do is we can control the controllables. And that means taking control of our time, our energy, our mindset, and our choices. The only things we can control. And in this world, in this crazy world, and this last couple of years, I think that it's even more important than ever, especially for women, to control the controllables and to really invest in themselves.
Yeah. And when you have personal control and power in your finances, when you have personal control and power in your health, and knowing that you're doing the best things for your health, there's nothing that can like slow you down. Like
Hmm.
the world can have whatever going on, but it's like I'm good. I know that I'm financially good. I'm taking care of my health and I'm taking care of myself. And that power and that being able, that confidence that comes in that is just, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's that physical confidence. It's that capability, that feeling of I can handle it. I am strong because you are physically and mentally capable, and you have the tools and the resources and the support system, which again is one of my favorite parts of the way we designed this course is that support system because it need. I know I need all of those things on a daily basis.
Yeah, community is important. And when on those days where you feel like, oh, what am I doing? And things like that, having that community of other people to either be like, I get it, I struggled too, and here's what I did. Or, just being able to lean on somebody and say, hey, this is what's coming up for me. It's so invaluable. Then if you feel like you're out on your own on an island trying to make sense of it and feeling like you're all alone and everybody else is out, blowing money on this or that. And, I feel like I need to be saving my money. Then you're in that community of people that are also focused on how can I save more money and invest better, or, working on their health and things like that, and not giving in to all the what's the word? The
One of my favorite speakers calls it head trash.
Yeah, yeah, and the
All
things
of the
that the bright
negativity,
shiny objects, yeah, 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 and all the other things that it's like,
temptations,
oh,
and mhm,
right, yes, yes, yes,
quick doses of serotonin.
exactly, yeah.
And I feel pretty good about that. Do we want to do an overview of just the course itself and talk about our units?
We can do that. I don't have my page in front of me, so do you want to
Yeah.
be the like talk about the week and what that is for you, and then I can talk about what that is for me.
Yep.
Take two.
Absolutely. Content, part three. All right. So this is our course breakdown. We're going to cover a lot of topics in the 6 weeks. So the initial class, the $97 class, that one is we are just going to set your foundation for success. We're going to introduce a couple of tools and a lot of topics and really get that. Where are we? Where do we want to go? Um, and that week we will be then creating we'll establish your financial baselines and get all the information we need to do a current analysis. So you start off with that. And
We're going to, within the fitness realm, look at again that assessment, that analysis of where you are and what is the next level for you within nutrition, within fitness, within mindset, and set goals and create a plan, a roadmap, if you will, of okay, where are you now and where are you headed? So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
yeah, so that first week we'll go over all the basics and then you'll get your first one-on-one with each of us. And we'll talk about your individual cases. And then in week 2, we are going to streamline your fitness and finances. So that one, we are going to talk about realistic, achievable goals and prioritizing those for to maximize your ability to achieve your goals as quickly as you put the work in, right? But giving you a clear step-by-step plan.
Mm-hmm. So taking the roadmap and where you are now, where is the goal, building on that from week one of, okay, now what are those action steps to get you there? And the beautiful thing too with action steps to keep in mind is it's not going to be 0 to 180. It's going to be one step at a time, forward progression. And the beautiful thing with that is seeing how that can snowball
Mm-hmm.
and you can grow and build each week, each day. And so that's where those personalized actions that we create from that roadmap, that's where you'll be able to see that progress and that shift and that change and that growth.
Yep. And that's also when we'll start talking about developing budgets that you can actually stick to and tracking your cash flow so that you do get those good vibes when you get to see your stack growing and growing. And then in week 3, we're going to talk more about the idea of something being better than nothing and just always being mindful of nothing is the cost of waiting, right? Um, and so that week, we're going to really dive into a little bit more about compound interest, investing, um, looking at debt management plans, figuring out how to fill the holes that we create for ourselves and to grow the rest of it in a more efficient way. So, really making sure that you understand how that works and what you can do so that you're not just taking directions, you're understanding why we're making those decisions.
Yeah. And then within fitness, that translates to, so many people, they're going to go on a diet, they're going to start to exercise, and when they jump into that, I can't eat any more sugar, I can't have any more XYZ, whatever that is, that dieting mentality. Or when it comes to exercise, oh well, I'm going to exercise 5 days a week. If you're not exercising at all, you're not going to exercise 5 days a week. So it's doing 3 days maybe of some weight training, a couple of days maybe of cardio, focus, step count, things like that. And so that's where we're going to look at something is better than nothing. You don't want to go again 0 to 180. What can you do? What can you commit to and start that momentum and keep it going forward?
Mhm. And then in week 5, which is one of my favorite weeks, we're going to talk more about cultivating and maintaining your success oriented mindset. So really, again, getting rid of that head trash, getting rid of that negative self talk, that negative image of yourself, and focusing on the ways that we can maintain that, even when days don't go the way we planned, or we do not have time to do the workout, or we binge on McDonald's.
Yeah, the biggest thing within the fitness world is life happens. You're gonna get sick. Your kid's gonna get sick. You're gonna have something maybe emotionally that's going on. Sometimes it's hormonal, and you're gonna have those bumps in the road, those hiccups. And it's okay. You've had an off day. You've had an off couple days. Now what? So that's yeah, where we look at okay, when life happens, because it's gonna happen. Nobody's
Mhm,
life is just even keel, no issues. You have good days, you have challenging days, you have things that other people bring into your path that affects how your days go.
mhm.
And so, yeah, that's that week we're going to look at okay, when life happens, now what? How do I not totally self sabotage and lose all momentum? How do I keep showing up and keep that forward progression?
Yep. And that week we'll also do a little bit of talk about risk tolerance and how we can prepare for risks. Like Mary Louise says, it's life, right? No one's, your kids are going to get sick. The car's going to need work. The tires are going to need to be replaced. The appliances are going to need to be done. So we're going to plan for all of those maybes, all of those possibilities, and talk about how we can take catastrophic risk off the table so that you are able to adapt and have that peace of mind that you've got this.
Yeah, it's okay when the dishwasher dies because you've got that money, you've got that plan in case of emergency. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then week 6, we're going to talk about building those lasting habits for balanced life. So, really reflecting on what we've already done, figuring out what works for you, building in those basic things that work for each individual in the course.
Yeah, making that plan for the future and ongoing. Okay, now that I've graduated from this course, now what? What's next? Or what does that look like? Because the last thing you want to do is get that momentum and build it up and then lose it because, the 6 weeks is over. And so how do you keep that momentum for yourself, keep the accountability, the support, and be able to make those long-term lasting changes for yourself and the future generations, the legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And I think that sending everyone off with a solid 3-month plan, not just physically, nutritionally, but also financially, is going to empower those lasting changes. And the Facebook group will stay up. You'll stay members of that. So there is that consistency going forward. Um, and hopefully new friends for everybody. All right, I feel good about that. How do you feel? Cool.
Good.
I feel like that's plenty of content.
I agree.
And then,
Do you want to stop the recording?
yes.